Hi, and welcome to another episode of Call to More Podcast. This is episode 4. Thank you for joining us. I realize that I have not introduced myself in any of these episodes. So, hi, my name is Jasmine. All right, let's get into this episode. I want to talk about something that God has put on my heart to talk about in this season specifically, as so many of us are being called. And whenever you find this and wherever you find yourself in this process, are you allowing Judas, whatever that Judas is, to interfere with your call? And what does that mean? Are you allowing distractions to interfere where God is trying to take you? Are you allowing distractions to interfere with what God is trying to do in and through you? So that's what we're going to be getting into this episode. How did I get to this? So with all of these episodes, I pray, I go to God, and I was praying one day, and God was like, he began to show me the relationship between Jesus and Judas. And he began to show me that the moment that Judas appeared, Jesus knew exactly who he was. He knew that he would be the one to betray him. And he wasn't fooled. It wasn't like, he was like, his sandals are so nice. Come on, be a disciple. I trust you already. He knew that he was the betrayer. And even when they get to the Last Supper, and he reveals that one of the disciples are going to betray him, the other disciples have no idea who it is because Jesus never led on to who it was going to be. And so God has just been revealing to me, even in my own life, of like, what are you allowing to stop you? And so some of those things can be fear. How many of us know about that one, right? Procrastination, waiting for this right time, waiting for this right moment when God has already said go, right? Do it. I've already equipped you, and you're still like, oh wait, not yet, right? Fear of failure. That's a big one, or how you're going to look to people, or what people are going to perceive of you, or what they're going to think about you. Like, these things can be distractions that get in the way. And that's why it is so important for us to take everything to God and to just really trust. And he's calling us to a different level of trust and faith in this season, and to really submit and be at his feet and trust that he's going to do all things. So I wanted to get into the word to just kind of counter that. I wanted to get into a verse. 2 Timothy 1-7 says, "For as God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind." So when you feel the distractions coming up, and distractions are always going to be there. There's always going to be something to do. There's always going to be something to try to take your mind off of what God has called you to do, right? But God has given us a sound mind. God has not given us a spirit of fear. So there is clarity, right? When you are walking with the Lord, where you are in the presence of the Lord, or operating in obedience. Ooh, that's a word, right? Obedience. When you're operating in that with the Lord, there's clarity. There's clarity to be found. And so I wanted to just also share another verse of, before I do that, of just Jesus's and Judas's relationship of God showed me how the relationship between the two of them, even though that Jesus knew Judas was the betrayer, there was humility there, but he didn't let him distract him, right? He still went out, he still performed miracles, he still performed healing, and he showed love. He still loved on him like he loved on all of the other disciples. And imagine this is the person that's going to have you killed. This is your betrayer, and they're hanging out with the other disciples, your other friends, the ones that you love and care for, and they laughing, they breaking bread, they eating fish and 2 fish and 5 loaves. Like, they're just chilling, having a good old time. And this is the person that's going to betray you, and you know it, and you can't say it. I don't know how many people strong, because I know I would have a little something. I don't know if I would be able to not show it on my face. But that is where Jesus teaches us to stay focused. To stay focused on what God has called us to do. And so I'm just going to read the verse. John 13:2-5. It says, "The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal and took off his outer clothing and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. So the part of this that I really love is that there's such a humility that is there. Jesus loved on the disciples. Judas was a disciple, right? So he washed his feet. There was a submission. There was still a love that Jesus had towards Judas, even when he knew that he was going to betray him. And I think this is so beautiful and it's so powerful of just us getting a glimpse of how like Jesus is the lamb and he is the lion. And I feel like in this moment, there is that meekness, there is that surrender when he's washing the disciples' feet. There's that servanthood in which we're supposed to walk into. But there's also, I feel like, the lion aspect of, again, Jesus did not allow Judas to distract him from the call. He did not allow Judas to take him off his path. He continued on what the Lord instructed him to do. So I really just wanted to just have an episode and just really address that, because again, there's so many people doing so many things in this season, and it's so important for us to not be distracted by, again, the world, social media, whatever that thing is for you, whatever that distraction is for you, and to really just focus on what God is calling us to do. It doesn't mean you have to like hate someone or be overly aggressive. It just means to lock in. It's the season. We gotta lock into the Lord and what he's called us to do. So yeah, that's it for this podcast. Nice and short and sweet and all the things. So thank you for joining us, and come back for the next one.